I'll get this one day. Okay, that's not good. Hang on. If I can get that to stay up there today. You can see a bit of the, need a bit more tape or something. You can still see a little bit of the ring light. Let me see if I can, okay. I think we might just stay there. Okay, so I thought I'd come on and do some more on my Needlebook. I haven't done any more since yesterday, since the last video. I've got a couple of things I wanted to show you. I've got this the other day, last week I think. It's navy with a cream, and it's got, you can see it's got these big roses on it, and it is, I honestly don't know what kind of fabric it is. It's beautiful, beautiful quality. It has to be a cotton, but it's like a, I don't know, it's almost like a, I want to say sateen, but it's not. It's the quality of this fabric is absolutely beautiful. I'm just turning my phone on to do not disturb because I forgot to do that. There's nothing written in the selvage, so I don't know what it is. I probably could have done a reverse image search. I didn't think of that until just now. But it's absolutely beautiful. Normally I don't buy things like this, but I saw this there, and there's quite a bit there. It looks like it's just been cut straight off the bolt. I thought I could make myself a top, like a nice sort of smart, semi-dressy sort of top. I think there's actually enough there to make it, I could probably make a pantsuit because there's 4.5 meters, and I paid $5 for that. So I was pretty pleased with that. When I bought it, I didn't measure it. I thought there was about 2 meters, maybe 2.5. There's 4.5 meters. The other thing I wanted to show you is I started, remember those vintage Irish linen hankies I was given? I've got a couple in soaking to see if they only got a couple of stains on them, and it would have been just from in the shop that they were in. That car, honestly, there's 2 of them. Anyway, the linen hankies, Irish linen, they must have come from a shop, I reckon, because they were all bundled together and they still had the string through them where it looked like they might have been hanging or something. But so these came from, the Irish linen came from a second-hand store. I bought the crochet cotton from the same store. I bought it the other day, last Friday I think. It might be, starting to think it might be a little bit heavy for this hanky. It's a 60, I think I probably needed an 80. But I've started to crochet an edge. It's not finished, I still have another row or 2 to do. And then I'm using the little hook that I bought there at the same shop yesterday. I was also using the book I bought there, but I found this other pattern, this simpler pattern online, so I'm just using it for now. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that I'm trying to do this crocheted edge on the hanky. I was worried I wouldn't be able to do it. I was worried I wouldn't be able to see, but with my glasses on, it's not too bad. I'm able to see well enough to get some of that done. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that. Then I'm going to put that back in that plastic bag so it doesn't get dirty. Then I thought I would try and finish this off. I haven't yet stitched it together, so I probably should do that as my next step. I'm just thinking, if I've got my glasses with me, I bet you I haven't picked them up. As usual, I always forget. And you know what? I've come out here, I've set up. It's taken me, what? Sarah's just having a drink. It's taken me a few hours to set up today because I kept getting distracted. I went to feed the dog and she had no food left, so I've had to cook some more food for her, which takes me a couple of hours. And then while I was doing that, I put a load of washing on. And then while I was doing that, I decided to soak some more linen. And then while I was doing that, I kept finding things to do. Anyway, I'm still sorting through stuff to get rid of. I think that's going to be ongoing for at least weeks yet, the rate I'm going. Queen Anne's lace blew over, so that needs to come out. And then overnight the cabbage moth butterflies, the caterpillars have gotten in, annihilated my carrots this time. They're getting into anything they can. They're driving me bananas. I was just wondering whether I should... Don't yell, please. Hey, no yelling, please. Willow, stop yelling. It's just kids. Hey, hey, shh. Shh. On your bed, please. Hey, hey. Go and lay down, please. Leave the kids alone. Hey, go and lay down, please. Willow. Please, go and lay down. Will you please stop yelling at people? Willow, there's new neighbours next door and she's not used to them. So yes, I'm wondering whether to stitch one of these labels onto the wool. That's something else I'm thinking up. Oh, there's people in the van out the front. That's what she's barking at. She's so territorial. If anyone parks out the front, oh my goodness, watch out. Obviously it doesn't happen often. Don't know, are you like me? The amount of times I have to clean my glasses every day. Please stop yelling at the people. I haven't had a good run with all the activity going on the last few days, have I? Goodness me. Now I've just noticed, no matter how hard I try to keep this, it goes in my little project bag when I'm finished. No matter how hard I try to keep it away from Missy Moo, I always tend to find a dog hair or 3 in it. That frustrates the life out of me. I'm sure she just sprinkles her magic Great Dane glitter everywhere. It's like, you know, she just sprinkles it everywhere, blows it onto everything I'm doing. especially my clothing. I've given up trying to look clean when I leave the house these days. I used to walk out of the house with clean clothes on. That's not what I want. I want my Needlebook. And then when she first came to live with me, I'd get very distressed trying to get out of the house to, if I was going out for dinner or something, do not get dirty, or I'd wrap myself in a big jacket and then peel that off. No matter what I did, I'd still end up with dog slobber and dog hair all over me. So now I'm a bit resigned to the fact that maybe it's just going to happen forevermore while she's here, I think. Okay. For some reason, I'm still a bit hesitant to stitch this all together. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm worried about something or if I'm concerned I might want to add something. I've pulled this green. It's not even the right colour. I haven't done a very good job of that. Didn't match that well, did I? That one would probably be better. That's not the right colour either. That one's not bad though. That's a better colour. So I need to stitch those together. This is a bloody crowbar, so that's not going to be appropriate to stitch that. I don't want to use a crowbar. I should have a little... I do have a little quilter's... Look, there's dog hair all over the needle case, no wonder. This one will be okay. Okay. I also have been pondering whether to add any other embellishments. I went looking for some earlier. I've got some charms and things, similar sort of things, and I've put them in I know I put them in a case. I don't know where I put that case. I thought I'd put it in the acrylic drawers on my sewing desk, but I couldn't see them in there. Now, I put that... I'm dreadful at this. Do you do that? I put that needle down. There it is. It's sticking in the top of the needle book. I'm dreadful at just putting the needle down and forgetting where I put it. So what I was going to say earlier, it's taken me a few hours to get set up today. There's a little knot in this that I thought would pull out, but it's not going to. Of course not. So I'm going to cut that off behind the knot, and I'll use that. So it's taken me so long to get set up today that it is now just about to start raining again. I thought I would beat the rain today, but no, it's earlier than it was yesterday. We've had rain every day for... Gee, I've lost track. I probably should be doing a ladder stitch on this instead of a whip stitch, because a ladder stitch won't be as visible. Can you see? I don't know if it's picking it up because my lens isn't working. I've smashed one of my lenses, so it's not focusing, or I think I have anyway. I dropped the phone, and well, actually, Willow knocked the phone out of my hand quite aggressively, and at certain level it doesn't focus anymore, so I'm assuming she's smashed the lens. But what I'm trying to say is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of fabric there. It's actually 8 because it's the ends folded in, and then it's folded in and folded in to make the tabby bit. So I don't want all those layers exposed. So if I do in theory, if I do a ladder stitch in the outside fabrics, it should enclose the others. I can hear Rosella's today. I haven't seen Rosella's here for a long time. I'm struggling to capture that outer fabric. There we go. Ladder stitch, I think, I might be wrong, but this may also be called a mattress stitch, maybe? I have to double check now. And I've gone very quiet, haven't I? I'm really concentrating on trying to nip that fabric with the needle. Just the outer fabrics on either side. And because my eyesight's not great, I'm really concentrating on doing that. So I've come to the end, but I'm not going to end off there because now you may be wondering why I've stitched that from this end to here when I also need to stitch across here. Why didn't I go around like that? So this is an open edge, this is an open edge, and this is an open edge. So why didn't I stitch from here to here to here? The reason I didn't do that is because even though I've basted that, I've tacked all that together and folded it, 9 times out of 10, if I start from here and stitch to here, by the time I get to here, it is unequal. So one side's pushed up further than the other. So if I go in the opposite direction and stitch from here and stitch both those pieces together nice and neatly in line with each other, I haven't had that fabric shift on me. So now I can do a little holding stitch down here And then I'm going to just run my thread back up on the inside of that fabric. So it's just tucked inside there. Instead of ending off, doing a knot and then starting another knot, firstly I want to minimize as many knots as possible because I don't like knots, I don't like to feel them in your work. And then by the time I tie that off there, do a knot, do another knot and start here, I'm going to use probably the same amount of cotton, if not less. So in this instance, it's okay to travel. And now I'm going to, this is where it gets a bit more tricky because I'm wanting to do the blanket stitch again, the ladder stitch, but I've got this piece of lace in between it, in between the fabric. So that's going to add a little bit of extra difficulty to this task. I can just do a whip stitch or something like that, but I'm trying to hide this thread. I'm just trying to make it as neat as I possibly can. So in my mind I'm thinking, if I was going to buy this, how would I want it all finished off? Yesterday Willow and I got to go for a walk along the lake, which we haven't been able to do for quite some time. And we didn't do a great deal of walking. We actually did a lot of sitting yesterday and just enjoying the lake and the being outside. And I tried to get a couple of nice photos with Willow. And they're all a bit of a disaster actually. I've cut heads off, I've cut bodies off, they're blurry, but we had fun trying to get them. And then while we were there, I saw a bird in the tree behind Willow, and it was not a bird that I was able to identify, which is unusual, especially if it's in my own local area. I'm usually able to identify the birds. So I stood up to have a bit of a closer look to see if I could see what it was. And I saw a bird's nest, but it wasn't that bird's nest, it was a peewee. And I've never seen a peewee's nest up close, so I tried to keep my distance and used my camera to try and record the parents bringing food back to the nest for the chicks. And I got a little bit of footage, but you can't see much, but that's okay. I didn't want to disturb them. And then we'd not long left that nest and I was walking along and my head hit a low branch, it was just sort of, and it just sort of brushed against my head and I heard this little peep sort of sound. That was weird, and I turned around and had a look at the branch and I'd actually walked into a bird's nest. So I had a look to make sure that I hadn't knocked the chicks out or the eggs out. And there was an egg and 2 eggs and a chick in there. So we left as quick as we could so the parents could come back. And it was that bird that I wasn't able to identify. And I looked it up when I got home. And I believe it was I think it's called an Australasian fig bird. And I was surprised how low they had built their nest. It was the male that I had seen, not the female because he had big red rings around his eyes. So that was quite interesting. Oh, this is tricky with this lace in between, but I will persist. Just got to make sure I'm actually catching the fabric and not just the lace. What have we done there? See, I haven't caught the fabric on that one. But I've also got to make sure I'm not catching the outside of that fabric as well. I'm trying to hide the thread. So I don't want to, it might be easier to come through in some cases. See, I don't want it out. I don't want it. I don't know if that's focusing for you. It's not for me through the monitor at all. The needle's actually on the outside of that fabric there, so I don't want that. But I've taken it out of there again too. So I've got to go in here and catch that. There we go. The other thing to be aware of if you're doing ladder stitch, if you haven't done it before, is to not pull it too tight because you don't want to have that fabric gathering either. That was a bit tight, so I'll just pull it out again. And I'm trying to just grab little lengths. I try to do no more than 2, maybe 3 mil at the most each stitch. And that's just a personal preference. I just like it to be nice and tight and stitched in well. So there's no chance of it, or less chance of it catching anywhere. Now I'm at the end of this section. But this time it's okay for me to go from here down to this point because all of this is already secured. These 2 tips are nice and secured in here, so it's very unlikely that this is going to shift on me now. There's more bulk down this end though, so it will be interesting to see if I can actually hide those inside folds. Oh, it's stretching the friendship a bit here. They're hiding, they are sucking in, but It's really stretching the fabric. When I take the basting stitches out, it should correct, I hope. Oh, this is hard to pick up now. Okay. It's getting very bulky down this end. It must have double folded in the corners here because it's quite, I don't know if you can see, it's quite bulky just in here. I hope you can see. If you're seeing what I'm seeing through my monitor, you can't see a bloody thing because it's so blurry. But I haven't had anyone complain yet. So hopefully it's actually recording more clearly than what I can see. Otherwise, it's not worth me doing this because you won't be able to see a bloody thing. Can you see that fluff there? The thread has fatigued. So it's starting to strip the thread from going through the fabric. I'm doing smaller and smaller stitches down here because I'm trying to hide all that bulk. But what I might do is just give it a bit of a poke with the scissors. So there we go, we've gotten rid of all that bulk now. Why didn't I do that sooner? That's much better. There we go. Magic. I didn't poke it too far, just enough to get it away from that edge. Now I'm just going to do a little holding stitch. Might do two there actually. And then I'm going to run that back up inside that fabric again. Inside there, so we can't see the needle anywhere, so the fabric's going to be hidden. Don't want to pull it too tight because we don't want to suck that corner in. And I just accidentally stuck the needle in my finger. Snip that tail off and pull this basting or tacking stitching out. And there we have a nicely sewn end on the lace, stops the lace fraying and just finishes it off nicely. I have gone a little bit wider than the lace on this end, which is not what I wanted to do, but I'm not going to change it now. So that one's done. Then I've got to do this side, and you can see here, can you see the folds on the inside are sticking out a bit? So I'll just have to make sure I tuck that in as I'm stitching. Just tuck them in like that as you're stitching, nothing drastic. Probably have to do that end too. So that's something else to do. We've done that one. Just trying to pick up the needle now. Listen to those cockatoos. That's done. That's done. I still think I need to stitch something in there. What can we stitch in there? What do we have in our bag of treasures? Just putting a bit of moisturiser on because my hands are cracking from being in the bleach. Oh goodness, much better. Which is not great to put that on and then go and handle the linen. So let that soak in a bit. There's got to be some little treasures I can put. As I mentioned earlier, I can't find my charms. I don't want to put Suffolk puffs all the way through it. I've already used some of that. These aren't the charms I was thinking of. I've got others. What else? I know I've got another. I think that's a bit too big for there. Maybe not. Don't know about that one. But I had another medallion. What have I done with it? Here they are. So it's partly crocheted and partly needle woven. I could put one of those on, I think. Need to press it or something. I'm going to be careful. I get a bit too excited sometimes and pull them a bit too firmly and break things. I think that might be okay. Put my glasses on. That's the front there. I need to try and weave that in. I don't want to just snip it off or it will come unravelled, and that's not what we want. So let's see if this will work. It might not. This tail's not very long. Don't have a lot of room to work with. Now I might be able to weave this tail through this crocheted chain. Now I'd be happy to snip that off. I've woven that in a bit. See if I can weave it a little bit more. Okay, I'm happy with that, so I'll snip that off. And then there's another tail from the centre here. This one's even shorter. I do have a shorter needle somewhere. I've got little quilting needles. Now don't forget, if you keep having trouble threading your needle, there we go, straight in, turn the needle around because you might be trying to thread it through the back of the eye. Okay. Now, because this is so short, I'm going to try and thread with the eye, which is going to be a bit tricky. So I'm just going to try and weave this through this foundation on the ring here, like a magic loop sort of. And I think that might be the best I'm going to get because that's very short. Let's snip that off. Turn it over to the front. And now I want to find a piece of cotton. This might not be long enough. I just want to tack that onto there so I know where I'm going to stitch it. Here I was thinking I'd finish this today, but maybe not. So, one of the reasons I want to put this is because you can see that neon stitching through there from the other side, the neon pink. So I want to try and roughly stitch where the neon is. And I'm holding my fingers in here because I don't want to stitch it to the other side of the hanky. And again, I'm only basting at this stage. It's not going to cover the pink anyway, but that's okay. I can hear the new little baby across the road. Okay. This gets a bit trickier because I can't get my fingers in there now. I should have started around in that corner. Tricky, tricky. Ooh. Even though I'm basting this, it's moving around quite a bit. Okay, that might be enough. That's not too bad. It's sort of secure. Well, not secure. It's holding a shape at least. It's not bad. So what I need to do now is actually come back with some cream cotton and stitch that down. Now to stitch this down, I would normally I start from the center and work my way out, but as you can see the center's crocheted, so it's quite stretchy. There's quite a bit of give in it still. So normally if it's crocheted, I'd work from the center out in like radiant sort of movements. But this needle woven outer has no give in it. So this time what I'm going to have to do is stitch the outside down first and then gently do the crocheted bit. Okay. I don't have my cream thread here, so what else can we move on to for now? I don't think that page needs anything else. We've got the yellow and red or orange with the neon pink. There's some yellow peeking through here. There's a little tiny bit of yellow here. So that sort of all works in. This one doesn't have, there's not a lot of detail on this page, but I'm still not sure whether I want to put anything else there or not. Maybe that's where I could put one of the wool labels. I'm not sure yet, not sure about those. Looking at this now, I should have thought of this before I put it all together. I feel like I want to stitch some flowers. That's finished. The only thing with this I've found, this piece of linen is so fine. You can see the orange stitching from here through the back. That's okay. I'm still tossing up whether to decorate this check anymore, whether it needs anything added to it. I think those two have got enough detail. I don't think they need anything else. Not sure about that double page. I like I've got the yellow and green here, the yellow and green here. It repeats, it carries out, it tells a story. Got a little bit of lace peeking through here. I'm not sure if I need something else here. I feel like I need some more yellow here. I still have to stitch that puff on if that's going to go on. I feel like I want to put some yellow around that somehow. I don't think I've got any. I feel like I need something like that, but in a yellow underneath to peek through behind there. So I don't know what I can do there yet. Don't think I need to add anything to that or to that or to that. So it's just finishing off that other tab, sewing it together, just those little details. Details that, oh, I've just remembered what I was going to add. How could I forget that? I was going to put one of these in. Now that was going to go. I think I was going to put that. Does that work there or not? I'm not sure if that's the right spot. I think I was going to put it. I was going to put it there. That's where that was going to go. I was going to put that there because I thought that complemented that check better. It's more from the same decade, I reckon. Maybe. This looks, through the monitor, this looks very orange. It's not. It's a yellow, a lemon yellow. Will that work there? I'm not entirely convinced. Or should I put that there? Where that cuff is. I think I like it there better. Yep. That one's there. That one works better there, I think. Oh, here we go with the hiccups again. Yep. That's better. I'm still not sure about that. I think too, the other thing I'm mindful of is these hanky pockets. I thought they'd be okay, that size. But every time I open the book, they tend to be scrunched up like this. I guess once you get Once you stick some things in there, I guess they'll stop. They should stop folding, shouldn't they? I'm sure I've got... It's still... Oh no, it's not too bad. Yeah, I think once you get some things in there, they should be okay by the looks. They're quite delicate, those pockets, but I was just wondering whether I should have shortened them a bit. I think they'll be okay once we get some things in there. Okay. So we've got pockets here. Pocket here. Pocket here. Maybe I should have stitched that down there. Then we've got a tab here to put things in, I don't know what. Thinking of something that tab could... What I was thinking was if you had something like... This is a bit big, but you know how sometimes your wool comes in a smaller skein, and I was thinking maybe you could sort of... Oh, I've got a mosquito on my back. You can sort of loop your thread over. Obviously this one's very big and chunky. They're not normally that big. But you could sort of loop your yarn over that tab somehow. Your, like crewel wool or something. I mean, you could loop anything there. I'm just trying to think of practically what you could use it for. This might be too big too. This is some silk that I've spun. But when you get your hanks like this, usually, you can sort of just, you know, store it like that somehow. One, two, three. Like this. That fits a bit better. There we go. Again, there's a lot there, but you could potentially use it like that. Just store your thread or your yarn. And I think that might be as much as I can do today, that it's not repeating. I suppose you could always just tuck that in like that too. Anyway, possibilities. So again, I thought this would be done today, but we're still not quite there. I've got to still remove the biro. think that's done. Stitch that in, stitch that flower in, stitch the puff in. Just decide whether I'm going to add anything to this check wool. That's all stitched in. Stitch this medallion in. Got more pockets. I think I've missed some too. More pockets. That's done, that's done. That's about it. I've just got to remove the biro, stitch the medallion in, stitch the puff in, stitch the flower in, stitch this other tab, and then stitch the whole thing together. And it should be done. We should be done. There we go. So, maybe tomorrow. I might try and get some done tonight. So, thank you for joining me once again. I'm sorry I didn't get further along than I thought I would. I thought we would have nearly finished that today, but it wasn't to be. So, that little bit's sticking out everywhere now. I can't think of anything else. I've dragged all this stuff out here to show you. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags, 6, 7 bags of stuff, and I don't think there's anything else that I can really do. That's about it. Until I finish this off, I think that's about it. So, thank you very much for joining me once again. With any luck, I might be able to come back tomorrow. I'm actually going, the plan tomorrow is, I might not be back actually because I'm hoping to get some groceries tomorrow, and I'm also going to see a lady from Marketplace about some more linen. So we'll see how we go with that. I might have a show and tell for you over the weekend, maybe. I don't know if I end up buying anything. But yeah, that's about it for today, I think. I might be able to get packed up before the rain hits again. It sprinkled a little bit earlier, like I mentioned, but it was just a sprinkle, and I think we're going to get more. So I might get packed up this time before it hits. And that's about it for today, I think. Thank you once again for joining me. Again, as always, if there's anything that you're not clear on, if there's anything you'd like me to explain in more detail, if there's anything that I've skipped over that I'm not shown you, whatever, if there's anything you'd like me to show, let me know in the comments and I will try to do that, cover that in the next video. I hope you are all well. I haven't even asked you today, I'm sorry. I've been so focused on trying to get things done. Yeah, and until next time, be safe, be healthy, and happy stitching. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining me. Oh, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so, because that will help me upload more videos. I need to get a minimum of 500 followers to be able to upload. I'm limited still at the moment with the lives. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so. That will go a very long way to help me upload some more content. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.